Hi, Dr. Mark Agresti. I want to talk a little bit how electronics have affected who and what we are. And the generation most impacted are people born in the last 30 years. Beginning in 1990, computers became more available, became cheaper, became easier to use, and were virtually in every home. The World Wide Web began around 1990. Even sooner, video games, Xbox, different consoles, gaming consoles became very popular. Cell phones became popular. What also happened in 2004, the advent of social media. Facebook led the way, but let's not forget YouTube, Instagram, and different other types of social media. WhatsApp became very popular and became core to what people did, who they were, what mattered to them, and their ups and downs were dictated by what happened on these social media sites. In 2007, the first smartphone came. Now people walked around with a computer in their hand that could do virtually everything. I'll get into what everything means in a few minutes. 2010, the first iPad. We were connected. Beginning in 1990, all of us were connected. We were socializing and interacting on the internet. Let's not forget all the dating apps that became popular. Bumble, Tinder. They go on and on. Remember that our children now are being fed this diet beginning in 1990. So everyone who was born from 1990 forward was raised on this diet of pure electronics. In order to entertain children and ourselves, where did we go? The electronic world. Gaming, videos. Let's just think about the advent of how many different video sites like YouTube, Instagram, Amazon Prime, cable systems were offering on-demand TV. iTunes was offering on-demand. Netflix was offering streaming video. Roku. So you could stay at home and entertain yourself with different videos, different movies, and different images on the screen that were endless. The choices were endless. You could keep flipping, and for a small amount of money, you could stay at home and literally get virtually every video out there. You didn't need to go out anymore. There was no reason to socialize. Big aspects of the internet and electronics has been education. It's been a windfall. It's been incredible. People could exchange ideas from all over the world. People could take courses. People could get ideas, and they could get information at their fingertips. You would have to be a professor or a PhD to get the amount of information that someone could get on the internet in 5 minutes. The fund of knowledge available was incredible. You didn't have to go to school and be in contact with peers and fellow researchers to stay on top of what was going on. You could get it over the internet. Also, there's huge socialization on the internet with social media, finding friends, getting likes, the whole addictive potential of that, the whole unreality of that, and the ability to find friends all over the world and interact with different people from all over the world. It occurred. And just remember, anytime someone was uncomfortable, when I deal with young patients, that's most of my practice, you know what they did? They tuned into their cell phone. And when they didn't like something, they tuned out. They learned about immediate gratification. A lot of this was good, but some of it is in this gray area of, I think, bad. They learned to not deal with frustration. If it's frustrating, block it, defriend it, stop notifications, change the screen, delete the app. So if anything bothered you, you got rid of it. You only followed what you like. So in this electronic world, it's only the things you like. If you don't, you delete, block, dislike, unfriend, gone. You never have to deal with annoying people on the internet. If someone does something annoying, just block them, delete them, get rid of them. Anyone who has something different or negative that you don't like, you block. If people are out there who you don't like, you unfriend them. No negative opinions. You create your own reality. It's great. But you're fed this diet from the day you're a little girl, a little boy. You're on an electronic device to entertain when your parents want to be doing something. They want you to be quiet. Put an iPad. Put a little game in front of the kid. Let's put a video on. Boom. It's the babysitter. It's the educator. It's the disciplinarian. It's the entertainer. It does everything. In this own reality, everything goes your way. It opens up a whole network of different people, different places, different images, different ideas. Everyone knows about everyone else's business, what's going on. It's one of the biggest accomplishments of mankind. It's incredible. We had this World Wide Web, ideas exchanged from all over the world. We're able to educate ourselves with these different images and ideas. It was incredible. I have nothing but good to say about all of that. But what is the reason I'm having patients and young people come in my office and constantly are saying they don't know how to talk to anyone? I've thought about it a long time. And it's an issue that whether I want to deal with it or not, I'm dealing with it every day, whether I like it or not. Everything sounded great with this electronics. I thought it was great. The problem is it's not real. So it's an electronic world. So now you learn the skills of dealing with this electronic world and not the real world, which is a problem because we live in the real world. And individuals are finding the transition from their electronic world to the real world problematic, meaning they don't have the skills to do it. They have no social connections in the real world. They're not talking to real people. They have friends on Tinder, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube. They have likes, but they have no real friends. So if something really goes wrong, who do they have to talk to? They're lonely. They lack the skills to interact with one another. Now, what do I mean when I say that? If you're a little girl or boy and all you know is this computer, that's most of your time. You go to school, you come home, you're on the internet. You're either watching videos, social media, dating apps, entertaining yourself on YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. So now, the ability to speak to another individual, the ability to develop the appropriate body language, read body language, to deal with the stressor and anxiety, and to be able to operate in real time without having the ability of the electronic delay or the electronic buffer between you and someone. So now all of a sudden, under these anxiety-prone situations, you don't know what to do. When meeting new people, you don't know what to do. The speech, the body language, the interaction skills, what to say, when to say it, how to say it. You don't have all those skills because you've never done it. How could you possibly be expected to do it? You can't deal with anxiety. If something's uncomfortable, you can't deal with it. Social anxiety, boredom, everything up until that point, you've been fed a diet or the sum of your experiences have only been electronic. So now, when it's time to meet a new person of the opposite sex or trying to make a friend, you don't have those skills. For example, I have a University of Miami student comes to my office. And I go through this day in and day out for years now. He says, when we're waiting for a class to begin, everyone's on their cell phone. No one's talking to anyone else. When the teacher's there, when the coach is there, and it's forced and structured interaction, they interact. But that's not really interacting with one another. Another college student says, when we're walking around campus, everyone's on their cell phone. Everyone's texting, emailing, checking social media, looking at videos, looking things up. They would say it would be weird, awkward, offensive if someone were to walk up and start talking to you. Everyone is in their own little reality on their cell phone. It's bizarre. And it's not just one student. It's not just one individual. People leave work, they go to their car, or they're in the hallway, they're on their cell phone. They're not talking to the fellow workers or peers. Everything is about interacting in this electronic world. For example, I'm at a restaurant, a local sushi restaurant, and there's 6, maybe 16, 17-year-olds at the table next to me. 3 girls, 3 boys. They're not talking to each other. Unbelievable. I, of course, said something I can't believe I did, but I did. All I said was, why don't you talk to one another? You have 3 boys, 3 girls. Maybe you should interact with each other. It was quiet. Have you noticed restaurants are getting quieter and quieter? Everyone is on a cell phone. Even airports, everywhere you go, where people would normally be talking, interacting, people are on their cell phones. So even if they have an opportunity in the real world to interact, they don't. They're on their cell phones. What else has happened? Because in the cell phone world or the electronic world or the computer world, you don't have to deal with annoying people or people who have an opinion separate than yours, who may say something you're not interested in or do something you're not interested in. All these people under 30 find everyone annoying. They're like, I find it so annoying. That's why I order delivery dudes. I don't have to go to a restaurant, deal with a waitress. That's why I bank online. I want the convenience, but I also don't want to interact with anyone. I do Instacart and get my groceries delivered. It's a waste of time, and I don't want to interact with the cashier. I buy all my products on Amazon because I don't want to have to deal with anyone. I want to see people in the store. I don't want to know anything about these people. I don't want to interact with them. So there are no interactions. The interactions have virtually been eliminated. There is nothing I think you really need to do. I broke it down with one of my patients. There's nothing you need to do electronically except get your hair cut, get a massage, get your nails done. That's about it. And maybe healthcare, but there's not much else you need to do. Everything else has been eliminated. You don't have to do any errands. So literally you could go out 2 times a month and you'll be fine. And this is not just the young people. Yes, they were raised on a diet of electronics, but my older patients say, well, I only leave a couple times a month my home because I do everything electronically. What's another problem this creates? It creates loneliness. You're not forming relationships, you're not establishing social connections, and even if you wanted to, you find people annoying anyway. So you're always alone and have these social connections, which are on the internet, which are kind of not real. They're definitely not real, and they don't meet your socialization needs. Well, what are we going to do about this? I mean, for one, with younger people, we have to have structured periods of time off phones, off electronics, off videos, where people are interacting. In social situations, people need to put electronic devices down. And during developmental years, there must be periods of every day off electronics and periods where there's limits on how much electronics you can do for children. And with adults, a key feature here would be structured socialization time. Unless we structure it, the inadvertent socialization that we relied on in the past will no longer happen. You must structure social interaction time, otherwise it won't happen. There are these random events of meeting people and talking with them, which could be very important social interaction periods, are no longer going to happen. You must structure social interaction time where there are no electronics. I have some thoughts on the future of this. I think what concerns me is we will become so dependent on these electronic devices. I think it's a matter of time before, I don't think this is too futuristic, before we start implanting chips in ourselves and can access the World Wide Web electronically through our brain. And this whole hive mentality will be created where we're all connected. I think it's a matter of time. I think I see that as the future. We're almost there now. You say, well, that sounds outlandish. That sounds so crazy. But think about it. Some people never are disconnected from that phone. Would it be so unheard of for someone to actually put a chip in their brain and be always connected to the World Wide Web? I think it's something we need to think about, and I think it's going to happen. I think it's inevitable. Thank you. This is Dr. Mark Agresti.